The new channel. The new channel. Hashtag TNCNow.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following shows are those of the host, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ayun. Hi everyone, good evening, and welcome to another episode of Founder Failures here in the new channel where everything is new. My name is Shan Mendoza,
My name is Carlo Valencia.
and you're watching another episode of Founders Failures,
Founders Failures.
where we bring entrepreneurs together, inspire individuals into startups, and
And remove the stigma of failure.
all right, Founders Failures Show BB, take it away. All right. Okay.
All right,
Mimi,
we're back.
hi, man. Today's episode will be very special because we'll be discussing a very hot topic. Unfortunately, Chief Aaros will not be able to join us because he's very busy
Oh,
right now.
yeah.
Blue Moon.
Busy
Ayun.
magluto.
Sobra. Oo. So actually, we're creating a new actually redefining our menu right now in Blue Moon. So I think that's
Oh,
why he's
very nice.
very very busy. Okay. All right. So tonight, ang topic natin, Chief Carlo, I think this is one of
Okay.
the things na we are very, I would say, keen of discussing kasi most
Yeah.
of the things are being or I would say misinformed or merong misconception or they have their own definition of the topic that we have tonight, di ba? So, ano ba ang ano? One would be challenges, sabi nga natin kanina, one of the problem whenever I think we discuss or to become an entrepreneur would be coming from, of course, directly from the education system that we have right now here in the Philippines. Um, they although
Yeah.
there are maraming approach, especially me coming from the academe industry, maraming approach that we are actually complying with the
Right.
government regulations, especially coming from CHED. Or especially as early as senior high school, they're already teaching entrepreneurship. But maraming challenges, kagaya nga sinabi mo kanina.
But yeah.
Yes.
What do you
Ano bang
think
mga
are
challenges? Okay.
yeah. So I teach a lot of mga workshops and do talks sa mga and yung mga judging, di ba, and keynotes sa mga demo days and trip programs. But
Correct.
as a college, do you teach I have one class pala, sorry. I teach one intro to entrep class sa SOFA. But outside of that, it's mostly really one session or part of an incubation program.
Right.
Sorry, my point. The point I was trying to make is, as a you teach, right?
Mm.
classes, entrep
Yes,
classes as
yes.
well.
Yep.
What do you think
Um,
are from an educator or from the industry coming into education? Ano sa tingin mo yung mga
I I
the
think
good and the bad?
ano siguro yung structure ng teaching, well, of course, medyo yung dynamics is actually very different. Like for example, we are doing, or we want to introduce, for example, fast scaling or blitz scaling, but in the academe,
Right.
it it cannot, I mean, well,
Mahirap.
we can teach
Right.
blitz scaling pero hindi po pwedeng ganun kabilis. No, mabagal ang pacing, parang bit by bit, module by module muna dapat. There's in terms of structure, I think, from us also coming from the industry going to the academe, I think,
Mhm.
yung siguro, the practical approach, because of the experience that we have in the industry, that's what we're teaching. Parang,
Yeah.
by theory and by experience, you have to tell them the difference. This thing works in theoretical, but in the real
Actually.
world, in the actual, I would say, in the actual world, or in
Mm.
the actual, I would say, output, or application, this does not work. Okay, so may mga ganon. So that's one challenges, especially, um, um, kagaya parang I think, we discussed this before. Some of the things that we have from the industry is actually, not press. I mean, the books are maybe outdated,
Yeah.
because of the fast-paced, I would say, uh, what siguro fast-paced world, or fast-paced, I would say, business structure, involvement of
Yeah.
customer behavior.
You know what? You know what? The one thing I want to change, actually, if I could, but before I complain, the one thing I like about teaching entrepreneurship is, so I've been teaching kasi at least one since 2018, I think, at least once per semester or once per school year, once or twice. Um, it's that weekly session
Mhm.
of nakikita mo yung progress ng estudyante coming from nothing to me, kasi I force my students, you need to get out and sell whatever idea. Hanggang prelims, ano yan, puros ano lang, empathy and understanding people. But eventually, they're gonna have to go out and offer the thing.
Yeah,
So
actually,
that's been fun. Pre-COVID fun, actually, I noticed nung COVID na and puros online, everybody is giving the students so much homework. So pati ako, kumaga, I'm now just one of the many people na nagbibigay ng homework. So
ano,
so that's a challenge.
just, uh,
But what I would like to change is this notion of, and yun, sometimes I see it on the first chapter, opportunity identification.
mm,
Naisip ko lang, I
correct,
want to pick on that now. I want to say that, instead of opportunity identification, is a problem identification.
correct.
And it's got to
I
be,
agree. Sometimes
are you
siguro
still there?
oo, sometimes siguro yung yun nga yung, some of the students, I think, one dun din na ako, one that the thing that I love in teaching, coming from the industry, is that, the students are also very keen of knowing what is really happening outside, the school
Right.
parameters or the university, and then, you'll be able to instill them practical approach on, what to do and what not to do, what to avoid, what to learn, and then what to absorb. So those things are the things that I like. I think, some of the things siguro I think the industry or the university rather should hire more industry practitioners also in the academe space.
Yeah,
Oh,
actually.
the challenges siguro, one of the challenges that I faced probably um
Mm.
yun.
Yeah, how did you get into academe, by the way?
Ah,
That's I haven't
It's
asked you that
very long
story.
story, bro. Very long story.
Oh.
From China, I was invited to teach first a foreign language because I used to I used to work in China, and then I'm familiar with the
Oh.
language. And then they asked me to teach foreign language, and then when they saw my
Ah,
background,
talaga?
oo,
Right.
ni hao, ganon.
Right.
And then when they saw my background in business development, and then the companies that I've been to, then they asked me to teach business related
Right.
subjects, and then that's where I love. I mean, of course, I love to teach Mandarin, but of course, that's not really. I feel sometimes I feel
Mm.
that doesn't challenge me anymore to teach language. You know,
Right.
but in terms of like business related courses, like for example design thinking, business
Mhm.
analytics, data science, and so on.
That that
Nandun yung fun for me.
right. Mas
However,
excited ka nun.
oo pare, oo, yes, yes, definitely. However, there are of course um, things, of course, that you need to abide because you're in under the under the roof of the university. Of course, you need
Right.
to follow the um, I would say regulations in terms of teaching requirements required by, of course, CHED. No, so those things are the not so fun things. Of course, you need to do a lot of paperwork and so on. But nevertheless,
For
in terms of
sure. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
oo, pare, 'di ba? Yung mga compliances,
Right.
yun yung
Don't you have
for of course,
so you're
especially for
leading the TBI of University of Batangas, right?
yeah. I'm spearheading the office for Center for Business and Innovation. I think
Right.
I think the students right now, not only in our university, in University of Batangas, I think they're very
Mhm.
lucky to have now TBIs um,
Yeah,
set up in their schools
for
because
sure.
they're teaching practical applications that dati parang sabi nga ni Robert Kiyosaki, di ba? The school does not teach uh, students to get rich. But right now,
Yeah.
because of forming the TBIs, I think that's one of the approach that the school want to teach you how to become successful financially. But also,
Yep.
the problem is some of the students really do not
You,
really haven't realized it yet, embracing
yeah,
that.
you know what? I don't think enough people say that and talk about that enough. Like, hindi ano to, hindi project to. Like, pag ito gumana,
Ex-
magbabago buhay mo. And
exactly.
then, lahat pati ng mga ano mo, ninuno mo. Right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They don't realize. I think the students are not realizing yet. Probably the need or the realization
So,
that
pwede rin.
oo,
May need factor eh. Kasi nga,
oo.
living with the parents pa.
Pero
Right?
actually, surprisingly, from based on our cohorts, those who are coming from, I would say, realizing ito maganda to, realizing the pain points, no, yung
Mm.
and then creating value from that pain point is actually those who are actually pursuing more to continue what they started as a startup. Um,
Oo.
sila yung may higher, I would say, motivation of doing so. However, yung let's say on the other hand, they realize that, but um, I think in terms of motivation and speaking, I mean, or discussing the pain points more
Yeah.
than the other one. I think they have I would say the
Can you
higher.
give examples?
For example, yung isang cohort namin, yung startup nila is actually yung guest natin before, 'di ba? Yung farms, no?
Oh
Yung
yeah,
insurance for
yeah, yeah, yeah.
farmers. The reason why they were able to create that is that one of them, yung CEO, si
Mm,
Mendoza, is her parents
ramdam niya yung
actually,
sakit,
yeah, are actually
kumbaga.
farmers. So realizing, I think, knowing the entire background that sabi nga niya, the least how to say area that technology and innovation has been looking at is at the agricultural area, no, or the agriculture industry.
Good,
So yun yung siguro yung pain point niya. So she was able to create that one. Whilst of course the others, of course, they were able to realize, especially whenever we sat on classes, capstone building and so on. I think most of them do not realize that the thing that they're creating is actually has potential to be deployed or launched in the market. Meron silang merong actually market for it. But for some of them, they're doing it out only for requirement. Sayang, no? So yun yung yung I think yung siguro yung need, tama ka kanina, siguro yung need of it, putting it as a business. I think that's something na lacking. Maybe because they're financially they don't need it. They really, I mean, I'm not saying that having a job is wrong. I read this book, yung 10%, ano eh, doing your business, focusing on the 10%, while you are 10% of your effort while you are actually being employed, and then 10% of your effort you are actually doing your startup. So that's another thing that I think the students should realize the importance of um, creating, knowing the importance of um, getting, the importance of being, the importance also of having a business on the side while you are actually while you have work currently working, and then actually at the same time you have something on the side, as a business full time, or um, your business part time, or you're doing it from time to time only. But eventually, the most important thing is that I can see in students right now, the most important thing that I can see the students right now, that um, some of them really want to have business. Kasi whenever we ask the students, sinong gusto maging successful, sinong gusto maging CEO someday, they all raise
mhm.
their hands, but some of them, I believe that uh, the reason that they do not have that the feel of the need yet is because they don't realize it yet, or opportunities um, being presented to them is not actually, I would say, clear enough for them to realize.
Yeah,
Oh, by 10 years from now, I'm telling them, 10 years from now you may not need it now, but 10 years from now I'm pretty sure you'll be able to tell yourself,
you're gonna
I
want it.
need something on the side, so yun. Those are,
I remember may tinatanong ako sa mga ano yan. One of the things I teach is don't when you run interviews, don't take their word for it when the what the customers say. Opinions don't matter. It needs to be factual. For example, if you ask for their opinion, gusto mo ba maging sexy? Gusto mo ba maging healthy? Tapos sasabihin nila, yes, of course, di ba?
mm,
Opinion po yan.
yes,
Wait lang, huwag ka magulo. Sorry.
exactly,
Um,
exactly.
pero ano bang ginawa mo para maging healthy? Kailan ka huling pumuntang gym? Wala. Walang magtataas ng kamay, right? So wanting something is different from actually
Correct.
doing something about it.
Correct. It's the same thing as the law of attraction without the law
Right.
of frequency. Gusto mo nga, pero you're not doing anything about it. How bad do you really want it? Ano? So yung frequency
I
mo
like
low,
that.
based on your law of attraction, yung law of attraction mo, yung frequency na attraction mo is also, I mean, high and low. So it cannot be like that. Has to be both high. If you're if you
You
do
gotta
not
keep
want it
pushing.
badly, yeah, so it will not happen as well, even if you really, really want it badly. Parang you cannot be rich while sitting and doing nothing.
Yun na.
Di ba?
Di ba? Hindi
So,
pwedeng tayaran
ayun,
lang sa loto.
correct, correct. At the same time, I think one of the challenges that one of the challenges I encountered in the academic space would be probably, I mean, not in a bad way, not in a bad way. Sometimes I think um, um, one of the things or one of the good reasons why I mentioned that the university or universities here in the Philippines should actually hire more industry practitioners because they are more
Mhm.
experienced, industry practitioners because their experience rather are very vital in shaping the current needs kasi sila yung like for example when I say the reason why they need to keep or they need to learn um, again and again
Yeah.
and again and again because um, because the customer behaviors or the customer demands also evolves. What works before doesn't work right now kasi ang bilis ng facing Like for example, after pandemic, everyone is being slingshot to technology. And then the customer demands nag-iba, 'di ba? So dati okay lang tayo maghintay
Right.
ng 45 minutes, an hour for food. Right now nung everyone was being slingshot to technology, everyone was really parang 10
Oo
minutes mo
nga,
na
no?
go.
Hindi naman.
So I
Pero
mean,
30 minutes, ano na ako, naiirita na ako.
'di ba? Same, likewise, 'di ba? So I think one, I think in my opinion, I think technology has something to do with it. Naging yung patience natin nabawasan. But nevertheless, I think one of the especially in the act with the current I think current setup in the schools, I think
Mhm.
uh, the common mistakes that the students I think um, always do is they they focus more on the technology and the product rather than the customer.
Right.
'Di ba? Kasi sinabi mo before that, I highly agree on that.
Amen to that. Right.
Yeah, it's like it's a holy grail. Customer muna. I mean, there's nothing wrong of creating the product. Pero kung isa, dalawa lang, tatlo ang customers mo, it's not scalable.
Mhm.
Especially in the real world. It cannot be a parang puro tayo technology, puro tayo app, pero wala namang gagamit nung app. But on that
Right.
note, I want to ask, of course, how do we really define value? How do we create
How to
value for
define
customers?
value.
In your opinion, how do we first
Yeah.
start and create value for customers before we create the product?
I'm a very kumbaga, so I think as an educator, one of my main jobs is to like really make things very clear. Diba? And so sometimes I feel I'm kind of brash about it. so value, for example, nalilito ako sometimes like ano ba talaga yung value? Up to and at some point in time, I just ended up saying, pag binayaran ka, I think si Gary Vaynerchuk yung nagsabi nun eh, right? The
Yes.
customer decides
Yeah.
if that thing you created is quality. The market decides. And ako naman sinasabi, pag binayaran ka, then there is
Exactly.
value in the thing that you
Exactly.
created.
Yes, bro.
Right?
A very basic, I think one of the very basic rules in Lean 6, one of the questions there is if the in value creation, if the customer
Right.
is willing to pay for it, then that's value. You are creating value. If not,
Correct.
no value at all.
Then it's a theoretical thing, di ba? Or it might be a good to have, or it's a hobby,
Yeah, yeah. I
di
think
ba?
that's also ano. I think yun din yung ano. That's why I think in us in the industry in startups, I think that's another great thing that we are sharing in the academic community. Kasi like for example, in terms of creating value, and then
Yeah.
anong sinabi mo kanina yung word na when we
Pag
uh,
binayaran ka.
yeah, 'di ba pag binayaran ka, and then of course that's
Right.
actually already value. Another thing that I think we provide also value in the academic space, especially into startups. Ano siya eh, we let also the students also learn that um, um, you do not focus on you do not focus on the product itself. That's the beauty of kasi minsan ang wrong how say connotation nila or point of view nila is that
Mhm.
alam mo yung unang product pa lang super app agad. Parang ano eh nawawala yung MVP, 'di ba?
We can
Doon sa
do everything.
lahat nandun, parang super app agad. So yung definition ng MVP or minimum viable product sa atin sa startup is very important kasi hindi mo dapat lahat nandun. You start with what creates value the most muna, and then later on you develop it from time to time or from phase to phase. So I think that's another thing. Yung value creation, especially yung one missing piece of it would be yun nga, yung pain points, And as you always talk about
Focusing on the
uh,
problem, or yeah, di ba? Understanding the problem. Because
at
I
the
think
same time,
also students are trained to think positively, eh. And yun nga, also I think part of the humility of Filipinos as well, and ayaw natin makipaway. So sometimes kahit may nakikita tayong problema, or especially if you're still a student, well, you will see it in a positive light. So
correct.
parang
Oo, correct.
nade-dilute pa rin yung problem, right?
At the same time,
Um,
the Filipino culture, 'di ba, bro? Filipino culture. That's why we always do not ask your friends and families about their opinions of your business because they will give you biased answer.
right.
'Di ba? So it's
Like
yeah.
to say, hindi validation dyan. Ang tawag dyan, affirmation. Mahal ka
Yeah,
nila.
yes, correct. Affirmation kasi kasi
Right?
they will actually tell you the things that you do not want to hear. I mean, the other way para they will
Mm-mm.
tell you the things you
What
want
you
to hear,
want to hear. Right?
yeah, but the things that you do not want to hear. Ask other people, the real customers, and then they will tell you what you really don't want to hear, di ba? So
Yan mismo.
yun yung common mistakes. And then at the same time siguro I think um especially innovations. Everyone, I
Mhm.
think, some of the people, not everyone. I'll correct that word. Some of the people are actually has a different notion or only one definition of innovation. Whenever they hear about
Right.
innovation, they thought of technology agad, But innovation is madami technology.
Actually, I like to say, correct. Innovation does not mean technology.
Yun yung yun
No.
yung yun yung common nila, common mistake also, defining innovation as just technology. Ang dami. Can be culture, can be products, can be process. madaming klaseng innovation. So I think for that it is something that they need also to realize that innovation has tremendous areas to
For
look at.
sure.
Mm. I believe no.
I like.
Speaking
Mm.
of entrepreneurship, I believe you were able to present entrepreneurship as it is
Oh yeah.
in Rotary Club in, where is it? Manila?
Thank you for
Manila.
reminding me. Manila
Yeah.
pen, pare.
How was it? How was it? How was it?
Very fancy. Um, buti na lang din. Initially, I was thinking, magja-jacket ba ako? Long sleeves na lang. And then I'll bring my jacket just in case. Pagdating ko lahat nga naka-jacket, true enough. Or nakaparong. Right.
Yeah.
So it felt I don't know if you remember this. There was this show, or not a show, but you see it in the news, Kapihan sa Manila. Yung
Yeah.
ganon.
Yeah.
And
Oo,
then,
oo.
di ba, may mga announcements and press release, and it was announced during the Kapihan. I felt like I was in one of those sessions. And then it's got
Mm,
a
yeah.
presidential table kind of thing, and then the
Table.
president
Yes.
facing, and then all the members. So that was a very, kumbaga, beyond me giving the talk, me being there was in that, like, I've never been in a rotary, I guess, or in a outside of networking nung nire-recruit ako. Right? I don't think I've ever been in something like that. So that was very 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 exciting.
How was the
The talk.
discussion? Yeah.
Well, it was a lot of, they awarded this, they awarded that, and birthday ni ganito, and then there was a new member.
Right.
Um, but the talk that I gave was controversial.
Oh.
Um, so essentially, it's called "Disrupting Disruptors: An Introduction to the Philippine startup ecosystem
Uh,
and proposed changes." Same
uh,
proposed changes, not so, I don't know, not yeah, I guess medyo slightly controversial, but I think we ended a positive note.
mhm.
Diba? That's what matters. We're trying to drive positive change. That's the goal. Cool. So if you don't mind, would you
Yeah.
like to see my presentation? I would
Yes,
love to
please.
share.
Okay, sige, sige. I would love to see that.
Sige. Okay. I'll skip a few, but share screen. Yan.
Okay.
All right. Can you see?
Not
So
yet.
this
I
is
think yeah.
sige lang.
Okay.
All right.
Ready.
So this is unedited. This was a talk given to Rotary last week lang, last Tuesday. I'm sorry, not this Tuesday, but Tuesday before the holidays. All right. So learn about the startup ecosystem, show some of the challenges, and then invite you. So when I say you here, it means Rotary members of Manila Pen. Um, they were. I like how the president, when he invited me, how he described the members as ano yan? Business leaders and industry captains ng project. So quite an intimidating um, set of people. So this is me, people we've worked with, currently our most recent projects. So 10XP, Limitless Lab, the startup mapping reports, some of the work we've done. So or the community that we support. Yeah, Style PH. And then I introduced design thinking as a human-centered approach, as a framework, and as a mindset. I won't bore you guys with the details. We'll jump to the controversial stuff. So startups, again, it depends on who you ask. So kung si dictionary.com, kung eto si Philippine government, kung si Eric Ries, iba rin. And Mr. Paul Graham, hardcore, 5% growth per week ka dapat if you're going to claim yourself to be a startup founder. So, all right. So the Philippine startup ecosystem is growing, recognized by Asian Development Bank. We have Innovative Startup Act. We also have the Philippine Innovation Act. Both of them, but you see, Philippine Innovation Act is focused on supporting startups.
Right.
When I raised funds, I was here 2014, 200,000 of the 220 million. Among nag-raise. Now it's at $1.1 billion. Rumor has it we're gonna hit 2 billion this year. But I don't know. That's a rumor. Financial services have exploded. And this is not just in the Philippines. Regionally, financial services have exploded. Also, Sari stores as a digital platform for digital services is a thing. So very interesting trend. Again, this is not happening just here, but regionally. India, Indonesia, Vietnam, they all have similar things. So now let's go to the controversy, or
Yes.
well, not naman too controversial, I'd like to think. So first, the challenges of founders. Kaya maglagay na akong picture dito. But
Mm-hmm.
first one is founders are overwhelmed and confused. Like, ang
Correct.
daming kailangan isipin. Ang daming kailangan gawin. Ang daming kailangan pagdesisyonan. Right? And they don't know what they don't know, and they don't know where to go. Of course, they're gonna Google things, magtatanong sa mga teachers, magtatanong sa mga kaibigan. Um, Mostly Google, I think. Right? So what happens is they end up making lots of expensive mistakes. They hire, let's say kung may pera ka, mag-hire ka ng software team, hanggang dev team, di ba? Or mag-hire ka
Mm-hmm.
ng sales team, build ka ng platform,
Correct.
magre-register ka na, gagawa ka na ng opisina, or makukuha ka ng co-founder na wala rin gagawin, tapos binigyan mo ng equity.
Yes.
So a
Correct.
lot of there's a whole bunch of mistakes that you're making because essentially you're kind of like a blind mice just looking around to like kumakapa ka lang.
Correct.
Um, so what happens is yeah, they end up focusing on the wrong things. They think of, oh, if only I have the tech, or only if I have the investor. Pero actually dapat si founder talaga yung si customer dapat yung iniisip. But I'd like to think as well that it's really not the fault of the kids. I feel like the
Mm-hmm.
kids are parang they're put in a situation na yun talaga yung nangyari. So yun yung resulta.
Correct.
Uh, Number one, ito actually, if you think about it, hindi rin industriya or academia may kasalanan dito. But what we see in mass media, in the movies and in the news, is merong startup, tapos nag-pitch, nagkaroon ng investor, kaboom, lumaki. Yun yung nakikita natin. That's what we see. Although that's not what's happening in Silicon Valley either. It's not what Silicon Valley espouses.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what we see. Kasi yun yung exciting na kwento.
Right.
But right. So, but what really needs to happen is customers first, and you've heard me advocate this so many times. If given an idea, the first thing you need to do is talk to people and empathize.
Correct.
Learn
Do the
who they
empathy
are.
walk.
Oo, di ba? Kailangan tao muna. And then prototype, and then test, and then eventually makakuha ka ng benta. Or kung hindi, makakuha ka ng feedback. either of the two. But eventually you'll make the sale and then you'll make enough sales and then now it's time to find investors, right? To grow. Investors is last versus dito, oras na nagkaroon ka ng idea, yay,
Yeah.
investors,
Mm-mm.
right? So another thing is in entrepreneurship classes, at least traditionally, right?
They shouldn't. Yeah.
save for schools like University of Baguio, of Batangas na may TBI na, and now they're making these changes. But
Mm,
traditionally, still, despite the TBIs, a lot of entrepreneurship students are not expected to start businesses. These
correct.
are some of the tawag dito, program outcomes or learning outcomes stated. Graduates of BS in entrepreneurship, they're expected to analyze potential business, prepare a detailed business plan, comply with required procedures. Diba? So there's nothing there that says start a business. Um, so there.
Actually, tama ka eh. Some, I'm not say, especially the not so big universities or colleges, or schools, that actually that not um, um, or do not have TBIs yet in their institutions. Ang problema ang problema din, especially there, and we are um,
Mahirap din kasi eh.
mahirap. I
Diba? And
mean,
then,
yeah, tama ka.
mm,
I mean, both, if you put yourselves on in the shoe of the university or school, versus the things that really need in the industry or in the real world, mahirap eh. Mahirap talaga siyang ilagay. The one, probably, of course, they do not have the capacity and the knowledge on to pursue,
exactly. Right.
di ba?
Yun
I
nga.
think
Kasi
siguro
nga walang nagtuturo na entrepreneur like you. You and me, kung binigyan tayo ng challenge na gano'n, o kailangan natin estudyante gagraduate dito,
yes,
entrepreneur ha. Sige, kaya ko
di
yan.
ba?
Give me the budget,
Correct.
give me the people.
Correct. Actually, one of the one of the I'll say vice president that from a TBI, in Iloilo,
Mhm.
that I spoke to. But he's actually telling the truth, yung mga entreps natin, sabi niya, one of the cries that we, in the industry and in the academy, yung natin, yung clamor that some most of our entrepreneurship students are not actually
Yeah.
pursuing business. They took it just because of, I would say, a compliance, or
Para lang
they
makagraduate.
do not
Right.
have any other choice. Di ba?
Right. Kumbaga ano yung dati? BS English ba yun? AB Literature.
Mm.
Right? Para masabi lang na gumraduate.
Maraming I mean, I think it's not only in the entrepreneurship courses eh.
Yeah.
Marami talagang students, because of the, how say, structure in the academy, which I do not blame, there's a reason the structure is like that. But I hope there would be also solutions that,
For
those students,
sure.
those students who are actually, for example, not qualified on a particular strand, should pursue
Kumbaga dapat, right, follow
diba?
your strengths. Ika nga.
Exactly. Parang ako dati, when, to be honest, when I was in high school, I was actually the strand that that time hindi pa strand ang tawag doon eh. Strand that
Yun yung strength.
the guidance were telling me is to pursue, what's that? Pursue accountancy, but that is something that I do not love. Di ba? Parang, why should I
Right?
pursue it? That's not what I love. Parang they told me that, I would say, based on my exam, the result is this. I would be parang, well,
Okay.
they did not say I will not make
Parang
it,
hindi
but
yata sumot yung assessment mo.
correct, correct. But now I realize I still pursue what I love, and then, seeing things really differently. So I think the best thing is, not to put the students where, or maybe it's also the parents, yung
Mm,
pressure, to put their kids into something that they really do not love.
right.
Meron naman
I think
nagsa-success,
strength,
'di ba? Nagiging successful out of it. But I think majority would agree with us that, some of them, they really do not like it at all. Siguro,
yeah.
same thing as an entrepreneurship. Um, I think, those who are taking the
Actually,
course, 'di ba, should really love to pursue business.
feeling ko actually may pagka millennial ba yun or Gen Z ako dun eh. It's
I
gotta,
agree.
di ba? I gotta be enjoying what I'm doing. It's gotta matter.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'm not gonna enjoy it.
yeah. But
So,
parents nung kasi, I'm part of that generation nung way back tayo.
mm-mm.
But do not get me wrong, guys. I mean, there's nothing wrong when we tell our kids because of course, lagi nga sinasabi, only the parents would will tell you what are best for
Yeah,
what are best for their kids. But nevertheless, I think I think going on, probably discussing lastly on the topic, especially diving into that topic, probably I think they're hopefully eventually, even though that they are graduates who seek work. I mean, that's not wrong.
yeah,
Kasi some of us are actually, I would say, especially here in the Philippine setting, some of us, we have lots of obligations to fulfill. Especially, some of us are not financially capable. But of course, there are ways, especially the TBIs. No, that's the reason why we are there to uh, provide them other solutions to pursue business while they are actually working. I mean, there's nothing wrong to be. I hope the viewers who are working do not get us wrong because we are both employed, ni Carlo, but we're still pursuing our passion in putting up
yeah.
our own
Yeah, no,
businesses.
there's nothing wrong with employment. Yeah, it's gotta whatever you do, it's gotta matter. I think is and also at least for me, it's gotta matter, right?
Hmm,
I know of a lot of people that have done really well in their lives doing things that are it's just a job, right? And
right,
that's
right.
also okay as well. Kumaga, regardless of what you do, it's kumaga what matters is you follow. Kumaga, do
Right.
you? Ika nga,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Anyways,
right?
I think medyo napahaba yata, napasarap yung kwentuhan natin
Oh yeah, sorry.
you know.
Let's come back. So when I say what can you do, what I'm saying here is what can you, Mr. Business Leader and Industry Captain, can do. So this is not what can you. Well, uh, you entrepreneurs that are watching this, if you're watching this is what you can do to help the kids, the new entrepreneurs get better and have a higher chance of success
Correct.
is
Yes.
invest your time. They're not gonna pay you or they're not gonna pay you much, but it is going to be worth the time spent. You can mentor informally, you can coach. That's something that we do. And you can join our program so you can learn how to coach, or you can teach. Yan, si Shan. Are you still looking for job teachers?
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, yun.
That's
Oh,
it.
so contact Shan kung gusto niyo magturo. Right? If you're an entrepreneur and you want to teach, yeah, I'm actually feeling go from my experience. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to teach, you just need to approach a school. Diba? I feel like
Right.
most schools are actively looking for, at least
Yes,
those that
yes.
have TBIs.
Yes, yes.
Diba? Pero they would jump at the chance kasi to have an industry practitioner teach entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, it's not like math na notebook
Mm,
at libro lang ang katapat mo. Sorry,
yeah.
we're digressing again. Coming back, so you can invest your time, you can invest your money. Again, the people that we were speaking to were quite prosperous. But if you are in a similar situation, you can directly invest as an angel to a startup. You can join a venture capital fund, or if you have enough resources, you can create your own holding company, and so that they will hold your money as you give them away. Right. So there are different
Yeah.
ways to do it. Happy to consult, but there are other experts as well. Check Manila Angels. investor network. There are other angel investor networks. If you're an entrepreneur, what you can also do is help new founders get introduced to other people, share your access. If you have design people or research people that can assist them, pwede mo rin gawin yun. Or pwedeng ikaw ang maging guinea pig. Pero, full disclosure, what they're gonna offer you is probably gonna be faulty. Tread with caution, and know that it's not gonna be perfect at the first go. What are the
Correct.
benefits? Well, you will be able to develop yourself and your people, the people that support those founders. You might be able to recruit a lot of really smart people. Of course, building your brand, it's good for marketing, it's good for CSR. From a personal benefit, it can give you a lasting legacy and a good reputation. And finally, of course, the satisfaction of knowing that you showed someone how to fish for their own.
Correct.
Uh, if Thank you, sir. If you want to be
Yun.
a coach, if you're an entrepreneur, and you want to be a coach, so we've created the Founders Coaching Program. This is obviously for early stage founders. It is a year, and what we do is we match them with coaches. Um, it's no agenda, no schedule. Earlier today, I had a coaching session that actually looked more like therapy. We didn't really talk about the business so much as talking about her mental health. Right? But we talk also a lot about business, of course. The point I'm trying to make here is it is founder specific, founder to founder. We
Ayun.
have a roster of well prestige, highly esteemed founder coaches. So Glenn, Francis, and MK, they teach entrepreneurship in their own regards. Glenn in UTLB, Francis is from 917. MK has a community of about 500,000 work from home moms. So
Wow.
that's my presentation. Thank you.
Yun.
If you're
Nice.
watching and interested in becoming a coach, founder coach, or if you're an early stage startup founder um, looking to start your startup, please join us sa Founders
Yan.
Coaching Program.
Correct. And if if you want to know more about startups, syempre, join the communities like, for example, Startup PH, Batangas Startup, Aloe
Yes,
Startups, and other startups in your community. Join them and then ask or seek help. Walang masama kung magtatanong. Actually, not everyone
correct.
is actually 100% bulletproof, pero syempre, definitely it's always best to seek those who are in the industry, especially in your space. Ayun, bitin ang session natin, brother. But definitely, ang dami natin na pag-usapan, ano? Maybe we can discuss this kapag
I'm
balik ni
glad. Yeah.
Aaros next
Oo
time.
nga.
Maybe we can do another special episode.
We should do it in a blue moon, and you guys should feed me your
Oh
new
yeah,
food.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully, it will be opened in actually as early as mid December. We are
Oh,
targeting
nice.
to hook or by crook. Sabi nga,
All right.
we should
And
open.
this is the one in
Lipa.
Ayala, right?
Yeah, yeah, in Ayala, in Lipa Town Center. But anyways,
Lipa
okay.
Town Center. There you go.
Ay, bitin na naman. This has been another episode of Founder Failures. Watch out for another episode every Saturday, 6 p.m. only here at the new channel. And don't forget to get inspired. Don't feel
And
failures. Join the startup community in wherever you are. Okay. This has been another episode. Thank you so much.
thank you very
See
much.
you and thank you, everyone. See you in another episode.
Good
Bye,
night.
everyone. Good night.
Bye. Bye, Shan.
Ang ubo, mabilis lumala, kaya dapat agapan. Dapat New Solmux Advanced Syrup. May 2 times zinc para ang ubo, imbis na lumala, tulungang mabilis mawala. New Solmux Advanced Syrup.
Unilab yan.
Ang 40D, tumutulong patibayin ng vital organs, iwas sakit sa puso at iba pang sakit.